have tried this a couple of times already, so I think, and I hope that this is the one. Let's check how that's, yeah, this looks pretty good. Happy Monday, how are you all doing? Let me know where you're at, how are you? Hi, I'm Nora, I'm from Thailand, I'm 36 years old. I run a digital marketing company. Thanks. So, most of you know me, and for those who don't and have just joined us, hi. We do these often. This is a whiteboard wisdom session, so I hope you enjoy it. And we usually talk about sales, but we talk about all things digital marketing really. And today, I want to talk and give you a metaphor for understanding people. I'm so sorry about my writing. Digital marketer, so generally speaking I type things, but I feel like it brings it to life a little bit when we get the old school website whiteboard out. So, why a metaphor for understanding people? Well, we can draw meaning from metaphors, and that kind of helps us to clarify, what we need to do in a certain situation, to help us to understand it better, right? Now, understanding people, if you haven't guessed it yet, is what sales is all about. If you don't understand who it is or what it is this person wants and needs and how you can help them get there better, then you've got basically two hopes, Bob hope and no hope, in order to get them to get their credit card out and buy your services. And if you're here looking to figure out ways to get people to buy more of your services, well, then this might be quite helpful. So tune in for 5 or so more minutes. Like I said, I'm going to go through what I think is a really good metaphor for understanding people. It's a parable, if you like. I don't really know the origins of this, but I've heard it several times, in my career, so to speak, and in the communities that I'm in. I study psychology, so that obviously has an impact on the way that I sell. But ultimately, like I said before, we want to make sure that we're trying to figure out at every step of the way with a new prospect or a new client, a better way to understand them and what's driving them. And ultimately, there's a big question that I've asked a couple of times in different various places that a few of you have actually commented on, and I really enjoy those comments, by the way. So keep them coming in, and thank you for the support. But I've been asking, how do you know when a person just wants to feel better but isn't actually ready to take the action to be better? It's a really good question, right? How do you know when they're ready for change? Because if they're not ready for change, then it's going to be pretty difficult to actually get them to change, right? There's a readiness that's needed. They need to basically come to you either with, being on the fence towards changing or willing enough to actually be open and honest about what's going on in their business in order to get some help, right? And in turn, I want to look at whether or not you can identify a person that's worth your time, right? Because what I've seen many marketers doing, and coaches and other online businesses, is giving their skills and experience and work and mind and creativity away for pittance, for low rates, just because they don't have a good understanding of what's driving somebody, and therefore they can't create the value that's needed in order for them to be able to raise their prices. So if you want to raise your prices, check this out. This is a really, a really good way to do that, starting with understanding people, but also trying to figure out and recognise what kind of person you're talking to, and not wasting your time with them if you recognise something in them that says they're not ready for change, right? Or that they're not, or that what their problem isn't really that important, yeah? That it's something that they want to talk about in the future, in 6 months' time or 12 months' time, or they've got another bigger problem that they're focusing on right now, and your solution doesn't help with that. So, hopefully you guys can see me. I think you can. I think I'm a little bit out of shot. I'll try and get a bit closer in. I think you can see half of me by the looks of it. So adjust that a little bit. Is that good? Give me some feedback if you can. Don't forget the old hashtag replay if you watch this back later. Let's get into it anyway. So, sorry about my drawing, by the way. I'm going to draw this off the cuff. But what we're talking about is a farmer planting his seed. So let's get a farmer on the board. There he is, in his little farmer hat, chewing a piece of straw. I know farmers do that. That's a piece of straw, by the way, not a joint or a cigarette. Although the only farmers I knew growing up were we farmers. But we won't go into my jaded past, okay? I'm now a good business person and I meditate. Right? That's all you need to know, all right? So there's your farmer, and the farmer goes out and he's looking to sow some seeds, right? And obviously he wants to sow them in places where they'll take root and grow, because that's what makes him the money. So the farmer goes out and he'll spray the seeds everywhere he can possibly see that there's grounds to throw them, and some of those seeds will land on the path. Okay, so he throws some seeds on the path, okay? And when he throws them on the path, or when they land on the path, this path is so well trodden, yeah, that they just get trampled on and disappear, and they never ever take root. There's not enough sunlight, and they're just trampled on completely, right? Broken, in fact, by the feet that people are walking on along that well trodden path. Okay, so nothing's going to grow there, and then some of those seeds might land in the weeds. Again, sorry for my drawing and sorry for my bad writing. So he throws some in the weeds, some of them land in the weeds, and that's kind of okay because there's some sunlight and the weeds are growing, but actually as soon as the plants try to take roots, they get strangled by the weeds. Okay, so they can't actually grow any further, they get strangled by the weeds. There's lots of distractions and lots of things around them that are preventing them from growing. Okay, so then you have a weed person, weed people. And then over here, some of them land on a rocky road. Okay, so we have rocky road people, right? Now, a rocky road is actually pretty good. They start to grow up, but because there's so many rocks around, actually they can't grow up enough. Okay, there's far too many big rocks around in order for the seeds to take root in any number. Okay, lots of distractions, lots of big rocks preventing their growth, blocking their sunlight, completely distracting away from them taking root and growing. Okay, so they look like they're going to grow, but actually because there's too many rocks around, they don't grow any further. Okay, so lots and lots of big distractions with rocky road people. And then we have good soil people. So some of the seeds will land on good soil. Okay, and as you can probably imagine, good soil is good, right? This means that there's enough sunlight, there's enough space, there's no distractions, and the seeds are there, ready to grow. They've decided, I'm in a great place for growth right now, here we go, right? And this is a person that you can actually help. So when we break this down, it's very much like prospecting. Right? If you're doing a daily outreach and you're prospecting to people, you want to start to try and recognise who it is you're talking to. Hopefully you can see that over there. This says good soil. If it's just out of camera shot, I think you've got either me or the board at the moment. So, if you're the farmer, all right, this is you. Let's call you a business owner. That's you right there. Throwing your seeds, so using cold DMs or prospecting daily on LinkedIn, Facebook, Gumtree, directories, cold calling, maybe you're doing content marketing, maybe you've got some assets, a group, an email, strategy, awesome, and you're casting out your seeds and you're throwing them. They're going to land in one of these 4 places, and the people that come into contact with you will be in one of these 4 places, right? So, yes, we want lots of good soil people, but that doesn't always happen because it's people, right? So sometimes you get a good soil person that's still a little bit in the rocky road, and you might have to nudge them towards actually growth and actually being ready for something and just taking the final steps to that, but they're nearly there, right? So you can actually convert a rocky road person to a good soil person by asking some 1 or 2 questions, get them out of the rocks, bring them towards the good soil and help them to start growing, okay? But some of them will be in the path. Some of them will want things to feel better. but not actually be prepared or have everything in place to actually do the work to be better. So a good example might be that, yeah, okay, well they want their business to be better, they want to feel better about things, they're fed up of trying but, and not getting anywhere, and they're telling you all of this, and they're complaining about, all the different things that have gone wrong, and they're complaining about, how it's not fair that Facebook do this, and not fair that Google does that, not fair that they haven't got any money to grow their business. And they're telling you all of this, but they haven't got anything in place to actually take action. They're not ready in their mind, they're not ready financially. Okay? So is this a person we can help? Potentially not, right? This is definitely somebody that you might consider to be a waste of your time. Or if not a waste of your time, just a person that you may be able to transform in some way and say, look, when you've got this, this and this sorted, come back to me and I'll help you, right? But if you carry on talking to a person like this, it's going to be you're going to end up wasting quite a bit of your time trying to get them off the path, the well-trodden path, right, where there's nothing to take root. Yeah, because they only want to feel good, they don't want to be better. Okay, or there's nothing in place, they haven't done what's necessary on their part to actually move towards being better. Okay, now we people, right, these seem like good conversations to have because they might well tell you some of their problems and they might well look and appear as though they're actually growing, right? But because there's so many other things going on, maybe they've got a website being built, yeah? So they can't take action to get clients until the website's finished, right? So that's a weed, right? It's strangling their ability to make decisions in other places, okay? They can't make decisions to go forwards and have lead generation with you because the website isn't finished, right? You picking up what I'm putting down? Okay? So it looks like a weed person would be a good person to help, but actually they're being strangled by all the other things that they feel are more important right now. Now, can you ask questions and move them from being weed people to rocky road people? Definitely, right? So, Mr. Prospect, if I had a solution for you that meant that you didn't need to wait until the website was finished, would you be open to looking at how that works, right? So get them thinking about what's possible. Even aside from the weeds and the noose around their neck that they've created. Okay? That's one good example. And then you've got these rocky road people where the conversation could be fantastic and it could be brilliantly productive, and then you get to the end of it and it's, no, I can't right now because of X, Y, Z, right? Or I need to think about it. So there's something going on with rocky people where there are boulders in the way, maybe even just one or two, that might be a business partner. Right? The partner doesn't agree with the solution. It could be finances, right? They already spent money on something else, they just don't have anything in the bank yet, okay? But they're ready for it, but they just can't, right? Mindset-wise, they're really, really ready for it, but they actually just don't have anything to do, any money to spend, okay? What else could it be with a rocky road person? It could be that they say all the right things and they appear as though they're in the right mindset, but they've completely misunderstood how, and they're expecting something for free, right? So there's something missing in the way that things are going in the conversation. Okay? Can you move a rocky road person to becoming a good soul person? Definitely. Ask them questions, yeah? Ask them, well, when is it that you think that you'd be ready? What would you need to tell your partner or your wife or your husband? What would they need to hear in order for you to move forward with this and progress in your business and get what you want, right? Ask questions and move somebody from where they are to where they want to be, okay? And then we've got these wonderful good soil people, okay? These are ones that check all the boxes, okay? That when you ask them, how ready are you to, take some action and fix this problem? They say, I was ready yesterday, that's why I'm on the call with you. Okay, great, check. Okay, now what have you got set aside to actually take care of this $50,000 problem you just told me you have? We've set aside $5K and we're hoping that would be enough. Okay, check. Finances, good. They've done the work to this point to actually take some action here. Okay, who else is involved in the decision? I make the decisions, you've got no problems there. I'm going to make a decision. If I like your solution, I'm going to make the decision today to go ahead with you. Brilliant, okay, we've got another check. These are good soil people. We can definitely help them because they're in the right mindset for being better rather than just wanting to feel better. Now, just to hit this home, and hopefully this is helpful for you guys, just to start trying to recognise As you've noticed in the anti-sales sales methods, it's all about you being better at dealing with people. We don't expect other people to allow us to sell them things. We have to do the work psychologically to actually understand people and how they're buying, why they're buying, how to move them when they're in the weeds, to just being a little bit further down the line. Even if it doesn't result in a sale at that point, it's better for you both psychologically to help them to move from one place to another place. And if they've learned something, one thing, or had some kind of moment where they feel better about things at least, then, you know, it could be a good connection to keep hold of maybe, but, you know, protecting yourself should be the first thing. So if they're not a good soil person by the end of the call, we shouldn't be going there. Right? You don't want to be having clients that are stuck in the path and somehow you've managed to convince them, which sometimes you do, you manage to convince them that it's going to be a good idea to take you know, the next step with you, and then what happens here is that you get left with buying remorse. Okay, because they weren't ready for it. They're not going to be taking the actions that you need them to take. They're not going to be on board with how you need to do it. They're not going to give you what you need to actually get results for them, right? They're going to just give you blocks every step of the way. They're going to complain about everything, and they're going to try and have control over everything. They're not ready, okay? You want to be talking to people or moving people towards a place where they are ready, okay? Where they understand the solution, understand what's needed from them, yeah? Not just what's needed from you. Okay? Because in most service-based businesses, it has to be a two-way, right? If you don't give me what I need to run a successful ad for you, I'm not running an ad for you, because that's my reputation on the line, right? If you don't give me what I need, what do I say in the Q&As? If I don't get the eggs for my omelettes, I'm not making you an omelette. I can't. How can I? Right? So, you can move people from one place to another, but I want you to put your business first, because we've all had this situation, and I hear this a lot, and people ask in the Q&As a lot, how do I get people from, you know, having short-term relationships with me to converting them to having long-term relationships where I can actually help them get results? It starts here. It starts with you understanding where they're at in their journey, right? And either moving them towards being good soil people, ready to take the actions, maybe confronting them on one or two limiting beliefs, right, which is perfectly normal and possible. If you've said you'll help someone and you can see that something's obstructing them, help them overcome it, right? Why not? This is, I guess, in one term, you know, we call it objection handling, okay? So can we move people towards being good soil people and only take on good soil people? This means, and I don't know if you can see this, because I might be writing a little bit lower down on the board, but this means, this here means, yes, long-term, well-managed expectations. Again, sorry about my writing, okay? If you want this, if you want long-term, well-managed expectations with your clients, charging the right prices for your services and never ducking out on a sale, or dropping your prices just to make the sale or just to get a client, right? Because trust me, clients that only want to pay minimal to grow their businesses are not good clients. They're not long-term, well-managed clients who are good, solid people. You've got to start looking at this objectively. You've got to start thinking, who am I talking to here? Yeah, does this person really want to change, or are they just here to complain? Are they just here to blame the world as to why they haven't been successful yet? Or are they ready to listen to me? Yeah, because if they're not going to listen to you, how can you help them, right? So when you're listening to them, listen to how they speak. What are they talking about? Who are they blaming? Are they ready to take some of the responsibility, right? Now, Rocky Road people, they might be very willing to take some of the responsibility, okay? And that's what makes a Rocky Road conversation, a Rocky Road people conversation, feel like it's going somewhere, and then we get a block. Right? Oh, something, you know, an objection at the end of the call that we didn't see coming, right? Rocky Road people. It looks like they're growing, but something happens, right? Something stops them. There's a boulder in the way. Could be finances, could be a partner, right? Could be that they've been burned before and they just can't get over that, right? And you haven't done anything in the call to help them get over that. You haven't addressed it. You haven't figured out and asked enough questions to see where are you in the soil, okay? Helpful? I hope so. So I'll start banging on about farmers and seeds, and I'll let you guys go and finish your prospecting for the day. I truly hope this is helpful, and let me know. Have you had a bad experience where you've experienced high turnover of clients, no long-term relationships, can't manage people's expectations? What's been your experience? I'd love to hear some stories down below. We might be able to overcome one or two things just by having a bit of an exchange down there in the comments, like we always do here. And I want to say thank you to all you contributors in this group as well. There's some excellent business people in this group that are here ready to drop bombs on you if you ask questions. If you ask a really good question, you'll get a really good answer. So yeah, what would your business look like if it was full of good soil people, if it was full of people that you knew you could help and were ready for help? And what efforts are you making to get them, to attract good soil people or to convert rocky road people to good soil people? What efforts are you making in your sales process to do that? Okay, so you're picking up what I'm putting down? I truly hope so, and I look forward to some comments below. And as always, if you need help with any of this stuff, reach out to us. We're readily available for you. Looking forward to seeing some more success and some more victories in the post. Victory posts in the group this week. Those are awesome. So I wish you a good week. Keep prospecting, keep landing new clients, keep being awesome for your clients, keep supporting your families, and just being awesome people. Peace.